So, ladies and gentlemen, hit a good old country road banjo kazooie for the AEW news, man. So TNA Knockout Tag Team Champions, the Inspiration, are reportedly currently working without contracts. However, it is expected that they will sign an extension with TNA, and that's courtesy of Fightful Select, and they always have the TNA contract scoop. Some people clown that, but it's like now TNA is arguably the number 2 promotion as far as I still don't know if people care about like the little TNA tidbits of news and stuff, but hey, these segments have expanded because it's getting more popular again. So speaking of contract news, Mustafa Ali's TNA contract expires at the end of 2025. Matt Hardy on his talks his contract status with TNA, and he talks to John Alba, who's just, we are who we are. But yeah, Matt Hardy talks about his contract status, his and Jeff's, because you know that they're parallel or identical. They're probably pretty similar, if I had to take a guess.
Sean Ross Sapp reported this past week that you guys are among several TNA contracts that are coming up this fall. Is there anything that you can comment on with that as far as what your status is?
Well, we may have re-signed already. Who knows?
10-year deal, right?
I don't know if I would say 10 years. I don't know if you can talk me into that unless you're giving me that Saudi Arabia money.
I saw Carlos.
I could 100% see the Saudis going, we want the Hardys. We want them for this Mania. If it's not, or even I could see WWE pulling it out at this Mania coming up. But in 27, I could totally see the Saudis being like, we want them in our Hall of Fame. Like, we love the Hardy Boys, you know? They love all the throwbacks.
So Silva on social media is like, yeah, we can't wait to have him for years to come. I was like, 15 years? What are we talking about here?
And they just want the big names. And people don't realize this. Jeff Hardy is like the Hardy Boys and Jeff Hardy. And I'm not trying to say Matt Hardy isn't, because he is, man. Like, you know, rappers have made songs with his name in it. And I think, right? Didn't one of these rappers make one of those guys, Brian Cuervo, made a song called Matt Hardy, I think, right? Either way, that was really popular, like online. Either way, Jeff Hardy, though, is like known. He's a guy that is known. Like, if you say Jeff Hardy, casual people do know who that is. Or like, if you were a wrestling fan, the Hardy Boys ruled. And now that you're an adult, like, you might not keep up with wrestling at all. But if someone said Jeff Hardy, you'd be like, oh, yeah, that guy. Like, everybody knew him. He kind of went viral, too, before viral. I mean, dude, I downloaded just the 10-second clip off of LimeWire of him getting speared off the ladder. Like, that was a thing that people shared around, was like that clip before viral video and YouTube was like a thing, you know? People know about Jeff Hardy and the Hardy Boys and shit. Now, Dave Meltzer would be like, well, when they were on screen at the theater, nobody clapped or whatever the fuck. But Hardys, I could see the Saudis being like, not giving them money hand over fist, but like, we want the Hardys. They asked for Yokozuna, for fuck's sake. And I know we've come a ways since then, like Turkey Al Sheiks actually pays attention to WWE and shit. But yeah, the Hardys are selling WWE merch. They're the NXT champs. They're clearly working with TNA and helping them get a TV deal while also working with WWE. The induction has to be right there. They were shown on pay-per-view sitting in the crowd. Their fucking final match at Bound for Glory was promoted on NXT and shit. And you got to think that they'll get like a last, maybe like a surprise Mania match or like one of these stand and deliver matches, Hall of Fame induction, the works. I could see them, if not this year, saving it for, which it seems like it would be this year. Like, why would you save it another year? The Hardys are already, they weren't looking as rough as D-Von out there. Not trying to shit on D-Von, who we're about to talk about in a second, but he just came off hip surgery. He's out there bumping around like, bro, come on, going through tables and shit. Oh, dude, it was like tough to watch, but it was like an emotional moment and all that. But the Hardys, how much longer does Jeff have jumping off ladders and shit? I don't know, but I'd be cool with them getting the WWE induction this or next year, which they can do as TNA superstars as well. That makes zero difference. So D-Von Dudley, speaking of his match, he suffered an injury seconds into his final. So he said that they alter the landing. I don't know. They want me to disable ad blocker and all this shit. I'm not going to do it, but he got fucking hurt, which isn't hard to tell. Like, Jeff Hardy landed on the back of his head on that fucking ladder as well. He hit the bottom rung. And D-Von Dudley also talked about, and I put this in TNA news because the Dudleys just retired in TNA. It just seemed like the right thing to do, man. And so he discussed someone being racialist towards him, I believe, in WWE. And Machiavelli here says it doesn't take a genius to determine who is being called a racialist. Let's see here.
From the first day that we ever got together, that we ever experienced, or you ever experienced racism?
No, I didn't experience it when we were together because of the fact.
Is this on D-Von's channel, by the way? Go and check out D-Von's channel on YouTube and sub to that.
Fact that when we got together, we were in ECW, and in ECW, I did not experience it. I experienced it in WWE. You know, I experienced it with certain top officials who I don't really want to go and say any names because I feel
Say names. Say
Oh,
names.
and Maven's there. Maven here. Of course, Maven's always here. Guys, run those likes up as well. And yeah, there's like 300 watching. If you're on X, just quickly click on the link and hit like and sub and fucking enjoy. The link's somewhere on YouTube, I promise. Or there's a QR code right there. But yeah, the Dudleys on Maven's channel or Maven and Bubba on D-Von's channel. I don't know, but I like this combo.
Names.
well, you know, I'm just gonna say it like this, you know, I didn't wear a 10-gallon hat or anything, but my point was,
Damn.
you know, when a person,
Go Sooners.
yeah, but when
My God, King, he just broke him in half. He just stooged me. What the fuck? They're like, you work for AEW now, dude. Jesus Christ, they just did Jim Ross dirty.
a person comes up to you and
Oh my God, I got a screen grab. That's the fucking thumbnail, buddy. Run those likes up for Bubba's fucking reaction, man. Oh,
tells you that they don't like you because of the color of your skin, and you're sitting up there going, wow, really? When 1999, 2000, and you're still coming to me and saying crap like this? There were certain people in that organization in that time that felt that I should not have said anything, who had power to basically bury me if need be, just because I might have stood up for what I felt was right.
yeah, that's all kinds of fucked up. And thankfully that's changed, man. Kurt Angle had this to say about his time in TNA. And shout out the Dudleys. I put that in TNA news because they retired there officially. So boom, they're TNA legends, I guess, until we start seeing both Bubba and D-Von pop up in WWE shit more and more. Or if Bubba's talking about LFG shit or stuff about WWE, I'll probably throw it over there. You guys get it. Ariel Helwani, though, talked to Kurt Angle, who everybody wants to hear from, MMA fans. If you are an MMA fan, you should want to hear from Kurt Angle as much as you want to hear from any wrestling coach or any of these guys, right? But Kurt Angle said that he had a better career at TNA compared to WWE. I had better matches, and that's hard for me to say because I had some really great ones in WWE. When I left WWE, I was salivating at the mouth because I saw so much talent. I think I had a better career there. Again, it's the argument when it comes to like AEW or these other feds or TNA or ROH, whatever. The WWE title and all that just means so much more. So was Kurt Angle just going beast mode, and did they find successes with Kurt Angle wrestling there and all this shit? Yeah, for sure. And he gave his all there, and he helped get eyeballs on so many people. And he was there through a couple different eras of TNA. In his opinion, he's like, I had a better career with TNA. So you can't really argue that because it's him stating it. Now, just as a fan, as a Smark, as a Phil S. Marks, it's like, I just think, you know, the WWE title just usurps everything. Like, how many times did he hold that belt and the World Heavy? And he helped resurrect ECW in a weird way. Right? Like, they used him as one of the WWE guys to kind of give ECW legitimacy when they resurrected it, right? Heyman always wanted Kurt Angle. Like, I know his fans were like, oh, Kurt Angle and Big Show with ECW, but it's like, those are the guys Heyman behind the scenes is, hey, give me those guys. If I could, I'd have booked my whole fed around Big Show. He said that. With Kurt, I mean, just his legacy in WWE and the way he rose to prominence so quickly, and his story of like how he just caught on. Dude, some of his dark matches are getting aired too. Like, he wrestled Owen Hart. He wrestled, I want to say Vic Grimes or someone. Like, just he was out there wrestling some of these guys, and the tapes are surfacing and shit. So that's really cool to see. But he just caught on so quickly. I just think that goes unmatched because it's such a unique career, even for Olympic guys, man. How many Olympic guys have come into fucking WWE? And how many had like got it the way he got it to that level, and could have bangers with like Rey Mysterio to Chris Benoit to fucking Big Show to I'll wrestle ECW style, whatever the fuck. He had bangers with everyone. Him and HBK. Like, come on, dude. Him and Ray, when Ray comes up from under the ring, that fucking match, holy shit. Like, he just had the SmackDown 6, the tag division, how they got that over. Then they got the U.S. title over with those guys. And then they got the WWE title. There's the matches he had with Brock, right? All of the matches he had with Austin and Rock and all of those guys. Like, Angle, that shit goes untouched, I think. It's so unique. But in his opinion, his career in TNA was way better.
Part of you, I wonder, was almost proud or more proud of your TNA run the WWE, because let's be honest, when you went there, I think there were some people who were starting.
Someone in chat said Kurt was peak TNA. Yeah, that's just it. Like, he peaked TNA because he was so fucking legend in it. But just stack it up legacy wise against WWE, even though you were there longer and you held the world title and you did all this shit. I don't think it compares to your WWE run. That WWE run is like a 1 of 1 with Kurt. But it was self-destructive. He got over there, out of there, and he helped make TNA. Because Kurt's era with Joe, that was such a good era, dude. I mean, a lot of TNA. I mean, it's just most of the shows were, I don't know, whatever. That's another discussion. But like, there was an era, on the Pop Network, they weren't doing the best shit. But there was still guys like Drew and Lashley and Cody Rhodes coming through there trying to make it happen. And they were doing, like, Mike Bennett did some good shit in TNA. Like, if you were looking,
trying to write you off, who thought maybe
but Angle
you had this nice
TNA.
run and that was it for you. And then, as you just said, you ended up lasting longer there than you did in WWE.
Yeah. You know what? I had a better career too. I had better matches. And that's hard for me to say because I had some really great ones in WWE. But I came into my own. You have to remember, when you're a wrestler, a pro wrestler, you don't really come into your own until 6 or 7 years in the business. And that's right. That was right when I quit WWE and went to TNA. And I was having some knockdown, drag out matches with AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Sting, Jeff Jarrett, you name it, Bobby Roode, James Storm. A lot of great talent. Motor City Machine Guns. I wrestled those too. Jay Lethal. Just a lot of great talent down there that I got the opportunity to work with. And you know what? When I left WWE, I was salivating at the mouth because I saw so much talent in TNA that was untapped that I was like, I can't wait to get down there. And, like I said before, I think I had a better career there. And so I do take pride in that. I do remember that we were doing like 2.2 million viewers a week on Spike TV.
That's fucking crazy. SmackDown don't even do that.
At one point in time. So we were getting up there. We weren't getting close to WWE, but at least we were kind of competing at one point in time. But and once I went to TNA, I felt like a whole slew followed me. Mm-hmm. Kevin Nash, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, you name it. They were coming to TNA from WWE. And so we had a lot of good years with a lot of great talent. And I was just happy about my career in TNA.
And they were able to keep the roster cost lower than AEW. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA news. Let's get into some WWE news. We have some stuff to talk about over here. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee became the new tag champions, to many people's chagrin there on this past Raw. Speaking of this past Raw, Triple H was sharing a behind-the-scenes look of himself at Crown Jewel, which isn't Raw at all, but Raw superstar Stephanie Vaquera, and him showing her how to, do her entrance and all that. And some people get triggered at Triple H for doing this shit.
I have ideas.
Even though he's just like producing the show he's in charge of.
Okay.
I'm up and something like.
And I get it. Like, Triple H can be a mark for himself and shit, but he's just doing what he's supposed. This is literally his job.
Like, my only concern right now is this is exactly what Penta does.
I think it's something more like.
Well, Penta was gonna do that, but
really?
yeah, no, it was his original idea. I killed it. Yeah, I was like, it works better for you. Let's try one. Bang, start to come up. That's kind of cool. What do you think, Stewie? So, and just come up a little slower, right? So when you're down here and you hear the bang for the horns to come up, instead of just like standing straight up, you just gotta envision how slow those are going in your head. So bang. you want to hit the fire on her name?
I mean, oh, he's so overly involved. Was her entrance not? Has it not been fire as fuck when those horns go up and then she goes with it and then she puts the one and the fucking fireworks hit? Like her entrance is fire, dude. So I just think this is like, again, part of television. Like, yeah, you don't see Tony Khan running around doing this shit because he doesn't understand this, like what he's doing in this regard.
So it's a visual cue as opposed to a audio cue. You still hit the kabang, but like, you know what I mean? There's a
kabang
visual cue. Her name is the fire.
I mean, I love that. I think that entrance is amazing, and she's a fucking superstar, and she clearly listens, which is good. Ilya Dragunov showed up on SmackDown and beat Sami Zayn in his open challenge. I did not see that coming. People said that Sami Zayn pushed for it, which obviously I believe it. We'll circle back to that. But the World Heavyweight Championship, speaking of it, which Nakamura was eyeing up, here's Nate Diaz, who is in the house.
That's badass.
He stalked and slapped the shit out of Seth Rollins for that. Fuck yeah. Oh, that's sick, dude. 209, man. Nate Diaz is that dude. And same with his brother, Nick Diaz. But there's some other wrestlers snapped some flicks with him while they were there. So here's Dirty Dom with Nate Diaz doing the pose. Nate Diaz has his daughter there as well, doing her iconic pose, which went viral in like the MMA community and stuff like that. Speaking of their time in Japan, AJ Styles hugging Naomichi Marifuji from Noah. But speaking of taking things away and ripping up deals, and I don't know if that's where we were going with anything, but these signs got ripped up. WWE confiscated a Page Come Home fan sign. Now, what's going on here? Like, why is she not back in the Fed? And why? And then, like, Rey Mysterio's like, I'll get you. I promise I'll get you Del Rio back or whatever. I don't know, man. So they're ripping up signs here. They're ripping up ice signs on Dynamite over in AEW. They're ripping up Page signs here in WWE. Speaking of selling out, Bron Breakker just sold out Seth Rollins, but a younger Bron Breakker was here at Kennesaw State football practice having a match in the locker room with a teammate that's going to wrestle. And so is the other Scott Steiner's son, right? They already talk about wrestling when they talk about him and shit. Whenever he's on like these football games and stuff, you see it get clipped, for instance. This is it right here. Speaking of which, here's Brock Steiner and his football story. Pardon me, her.
Brock Rechsteiner.
Well, he is wearing some pink. Okay, no.
His dad, WWE Hall of Famer, and Brock plans to join the family business after college.
He does. He has an NIL deal with the WWE. I mean, Big Papa Pump, pumping some iron. It's impressive.
We're going to get the fucking Steiners 2.0. That's going to rule. So Braun Strowman, who we talked about earlier, addressed his social media exchange with Paul Heyman. And he's like, I keep getting this tweeting with Paul Heyman. I never even talked about Paul or acknowledged Paul. I don't know why he got so upset and came at me, especially because he gets to see my face every commercial break on SmackDown. Let's be for real. If anybody knows about me having a show about ordering everything on the menu, you think Paul would know. So just barbing back and forth. Who knows? Braun, again, is that, I don't think that's burning bridges. I just think that's more... Fuck, man. He could get hired again by WWE one day. They were just paying him a shitload of money. He couldn't really go. Now, what would they use him for? I don't know. I really don't know. Do they need a giant that bad? They have Omos, and Omos can like move around pretty well and shit. Speaking of deals and whatnot, Omos, aka the Giant Connoisseur, has released his own fragrance called Ibere in partnership with Zaharoff. I don't know if I said that right. Ibere. Ibere. Because that backwards accent is what like Monet and Sade put on, but that actually makes an eh sound, not an a sound. A is the accent goes the other way. So this would be like Biere. Abiere. I don't know. Zahara. Maybe I'm saying it entirely wrong, but he has a new fragrance. And I guess he's like a cologne connoisseur. Speaking of crazy things to say, this guy asked Steve Austin, what about when his podcast is coming? And he's like, give me a couple weeks, kid. So is Broken Skull Sessions coming back under the Fanatics banner? That would be awesome. That I think is like the best, one of the best pro wrestling, just old pro wrestlers talking about wrestling while doing a few shots. Like I know Cody Rhodes is doing that, but I think Stone Cold was doing that first. The one thing I think so WWE refused to help Sir Mo pay for his life-saving kidney transplant before his death. Now that's fucked up. I mean, that's fucked up. But again, was there a GoFundMe? It's really tragic when things like this happen, and like you can't put the blame on anyone. I'm just saying, like, they've shilled money over for people's rehabs to get their shit together, you know? Shit that the majority of people figure out on their, oh, you drink a beer, it's fun once in a while. Don't become a fucking raging alcoholic, right? You know, people become addicts and they're on the streets and all this shit. I'm not saying that happened over here, but when life, like they've sent people to rehab for that, like a thing where it's like, well, that's about self-control. A kidney failure, I don't know how much of that is like self-control and bad health, and fuck, man, you know, some of that shit could have been genetic for all I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but all I'm saying is like, damn, dude. You know, and I get it. They were paying for rehabs like back in the day. It was a different time. Like drugs were killing the wrestlers and stuff. But in a day of nostalgia deals, fuck, man, how much, right? You count it up. Like, what did he need? 30 grand or something? It's sad, man. R.I.P. Sir Mo.